Hi everyone, it's Luke here from Urisco Studios, and in this video tutorial I'll be telling you about how to set up your model, and I'll be telling you about the options in the Interiors tab of the vRoom plugin. Now, you can see here I've just got this test model of a building. I'm just going to grab the polygons on the bottom and just hide them, just so you can see that you don't have any geometry on the inside of your building at all. The inside of the building's completely hollow. Now, I've already set up all the surfaces and everything on here. You see these black polygons are the ones that the vRoom plugin will be applied to. Now, if I just select these polygons by surface, and I'll just quickly hide everything else, you can see they're all individual polygons, and what this means is that the way vRoom works, I've got the manual right here, is it will take one of these polygons and sort of extrude it back to the room depth that you specify, and that, in combination with the coordinate system, which is set up in the Advanced tab, I won't go into that now, but the two in conjunction specify a bounding box, and that's what's used to create the room geometry. Now, when you have single polygons, such as the ones you can see here, what will happen is those will just become individual rooms. But if I zoom out, you can see here these polygons are all joined together. These days, that is to say that they share vertices, and there's also a few more. I think there's some on the corner up here. These ones here, these three, for example, share vertices, and there's a similar pattern all the way on the y-axis here. Now, what vRoom will do in this instance is it will treat this as a situation where you want this to be a single room, and it will put the bounding box around these three joined polygons. Now, I can probably demonstrate that a bit better. I'll just switch into the top view here. Now, what vRoom will actually do is, for each of these polygons, it will extrude it back. Let's say this is going to be very rough, but it will grab that first polygon and extrude it back. I'm just going to do it roughly 3 meters. You should get the idea. It'll grab this one, it'll extract that back, whatever, roughly 3 meters, and it'll do the same for this one. Okay. And when it's done this in its calculations, what it will then do is use the coordinate system and say, okay, the room is going to be this size. So you can see this is the bounding box that will be applied to that particular room. Now I'm just going to undo all of those. Okay. Now that we've got the model in layout, I'm going to show you how to quickly get started. So F5 to bring up the surfacing panel. My surface for the Windows is called Windows. Activate the node editor, click on Edit Nodes. Now over to Add Node, Urisco, vRoom. Now when you first start vRoom, the plugin doesn't actually know where your library of images is located. So what it will do is it will actually just default to the image directory. So we need to set that up first. So over in the Advanced tab here, you see Style Directory here, it's just defaulted to the project's image directory. So I'm going to click on this. While I'm in here, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the directory structure as well. I have my libraries here in Common Resources and in vRoom Library. I've got another library here, and if I select this, then every subfolder of this folder will become a style. It will turn up in the style pop-up. Now every single style has got subdirectories. It will have at least a directory called interiors. Now in here is all of the files and folders for the images that will be mapped to the inside of the rooms. Everything else is a window garnish directory. Here we've just got blinds and drapes, but you can add more if you want them. Again, because this is an example, I'm only going to have this one style available to me. So I'll just select the library, click OK, and if we come back over to the interior tab, you can see we've got the interior style here. That's the only one we have. For our window garnish, we've got those other two directories. We can either select all, none, or a specific directory. This files directory here will be filtered according to the choices that you've selected in the window garnish pop-up. You can see that we've got all. Now, I can select none from here, and then it will show none down here. Or I can select drapes from here. Now I happen to know that the drapes directory is empty, so if I click on here, that will also be empty. And all of the files I've got in this example folder are all in blinds, so you can see there. So you can actually just select a single file if you want to. At the moment, just for this quick example, I'm going to select none. Now, for this example as well, I'm just going to connect the interior diffuse to the diffuse shading input. Now before we render, I just want to tell you what a few of these variables are. We have the lights on exposure and the lights off exposure. What this does is, you can see here, we've got 65% of our rooms will have their lights turned on. So, where we have lights on exposure of -0.5, if the room is determined, if it's determined that the room has its lights on, an exposure of -0.5 will be applied to that room. If the room is determined to have its lights switched off, a value of -3 will be applied to the exposure. Now, the rest of these options of the window garnish, I'll leave those for now. So I've closed these down. I'll go to render. When I click render, vRoom will do the calculations to create the internal geometry. As soon as the first pixel of the window shader to be shaded is hit, it will do that, and that will take a few seconds. And here's the render. The example image library I've got at the moment only contains 2 different image types for the interior images, so that's why you're not seeing that much in the way of variance here. But what you can see, and what I wanted to demonstrate, was the fact that you can see here, take this room for example, where the polygons were joined at the vertices, vRoom has created a larger room. You can see it's all the ones that were joined together there have created this larger room, and all the others that were single polygons on their own, they've just created their individual rooms, and about 65% of the lights are switched on. May not look like it in this image, but overall on the building 65% will be switched on. Just thought I'd do another render from a different angle so you can see the larger room at the bottom here, and also the render time as I edited it out from the previous one. Also you can see a few more of the lights are on, and you can see a bit further into the rooms here. So we're looking at about, previous render time was 25 seconds, this one's a bit closer, a bit more of it filling the screen, so this one was 40 seconds at 5AA 640 by 480 using the perspective camera. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video. Next video I'll be talking more about the window garnish options, so I'll see you then.